The chart looks absolutely unreal. Take a look, a massive spike as we are watching one of the biggest moments in cryptocurrency history. Take a look at this. Elon Musk is planning to release payments for X early, which is going to include massive crypto integration. If you're not investing in holding crypto right now, what the heck are you doing? Look at this. X Money leak reveals Elon Musk a game-changing plan as Bitcoin nears 100,000 price. Now, I've heard rumors behind the scenes that we could be seeing an X payments launch as soon as this week. They were initially waiting until all of the states approved, which is kind of dumb because states, a lot of them don't like Elon Musk, which is it's hilarious. You know, they're trying to stop one of the most important platforms from taking hold over a personal vendetta. Peak pettiness. But Elon Musk isn't taking that sitting down. He is putting up a fight as he should. And by doing that, he's going to release it early before every state has approved. There's around 36 that have approved so far. There's still obviously 14 to go, right? Including some of the most far left places which hate Elon Musk. There's the correlation. We'll put it out in the open. That's what it is. Let's be honest about it. And so by launching this early, he's going to get an advantage and kind of force the hand of the other states. If everyone's using it across the country, besides in those states, there's going to be so much pressure. They have to give the licenses. They have to give the approval. And that's why almost no payments platform can launch. They have it set up that way on purpose. It is a monopoly that is being upheld by the government. Pretty evil stuff when you think about it. Take a look at this. This is why I'm extremely excited about Base Chain. And you should be looking at the entire Base Chain ecosystem. And that coin I just showed you, I'm about to go back to in a second. But Coinbase stock is about to potentially be available on Base Chain. Jesse Paul, creator of Base Chain, believes that's what's going to happen. I think he's right. It's inevitable. Imagine a system where you can only invest in a stock between certain hours per day. You only get a little window. Holidays are closed. Does that make any sense? Why that gives an advantage only to the people who have the big money, to the Wall Street people, because they're not going to have their employees working at 2 a.m., but we'll trade at 2 a.m. I will. And so that gives us an advantage. They take away every advantage of the people and give it to these monopolies and these corporate conglomerates. But if you take a look through this, you'll see the potential this has. Coinbase stock right now, if you want to buy it, you need to go and KYC yourself. You have to disclose everything. You basically have to lose all of your privacy rights in order to invest in a stock. Why? Why is that the way the system works? Now, there are some aspects like politicians will take advantage of it and stuff like that if it is off-chain and you can't really trace it. But they're taking advantage of it anyway. They're already doing that. You have to ban it, have serious consequences for politicians, but everyone else shouldn't have to suffer because of a few bad people. And so that's why I think it's extremely important that we continue looking at this. Base Chain, one of the most important developments. And as we take a look here, look at this. So there's Dogecoin. Look at this, up 42% today. I posted a video yesterday where I explained clearly, look at this. I'm telling you, watch for it tomorrow. And Wintermute announced today. That's absolutely massive. If you don't know what Wintermute is, do a little bit of research on it. And once you do, you'll realize how big of a deal that is and how big it means this project is capable of being. Take a look at this. So you can see this massive run. And I get everyone's used to in cryptocurrency, you get burned over and over. Yeah, look at this. Look at that chart. Explain to me how that isn't one of the best charts that you've ever seen. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. We can look at it on the month chart. It's a relatively new project to the scene. Akuma Inu is, and I'm super excited about it. So you can take a look there. Now, one thing I would like to do. Go into X there. It's not intentional. Let me go ahead and show you this. So I'm going to go to YouTube, and we're going to look at a couple of the comments. That's what we're going to do. So give me a second here. That's one of my channels. Let's go to Final Stand. So this is going to be fun. So we can go to Final Stand here. Let's look at my most recent video here. So now we will scroll down. There's a video I made on it, and let's look at some of the comments. So there we go. Stop promoting Dogecoin wannabes. Getting some hate, right? Like there's a little bit of hate there. Now it's a lot of love. There's a lot of likes on the video, and there's some love. But look at all the hate. Look, people are hating. At the end of the day, if you find a cryptocurrency opportunity that you genuinely believe in, you're supposed to be looking at it seriously. And I don't care if these hate comments will go away. That's totally fine. People say, no, it's not going to go up. Oh, it's exit liquidity. And after all of that, if you had just simply listened to me, when I very rarely say I'm extremely confident that something big is going to happen tomorrow with a coin, I'm rarely that specific, almost never. And this is the first time, by the way, that I started a new YouTube channel. I have a channel specifically for this project, Akuma Inu. I've never done that. Besides Dogecoin only happened one time. And so it's not like I'm just a serial promoter who just throws things. If I really believe in a project, I'm going to bring it to the table. And I really believe in Akuma Inu. Now, it's still crypto, right? Like, even with Dogecoin, I say don't invest more than you're willing to lose. Be careful. But at some point, you have to take risks if you're in crypto. You can't just sit on your butt all the time and play it safe, like wrap yourself in bubble wrap. I mean, and then likewise, I built my channel on Dogecoin. I was the first Dogecoin YouTuber. Now I'm the first Akuma Inu YouTuber. You know, I'm not gonna only stay in one lane when there's a lot more opportunity out there, especially with a chain like Base Chain, where if you invest in the top meme coin on Base Chain early, you have a huge opportunity. And so that's why I'm doing this, and that's why I'm going to continue to do it. And I think it's a beautiful project, and the team behind it is also very high IQ. This is not some back of the garage crypto project that you typically see, and you can see. So we'll look at a couple of the metrics here, which I think is important, and we'll look at this for both. We'll look at it for Dogecoin as well. So get off my case. Get off my case. I mean, get off my case. But look at this. So. Which one should we do first? Should we do Akuma or Dogecoin first? But look at this. Here's the current Akuma market cap. 500 million. We're at 500 million. That's huge. And sometimes it's better to be looking at cryptocurrencies that are already big and going up than it is to continue to invest in coins that are around the 5 to 10 million range, or even smaller than that, where yes, the upside's higher, but the risk is also significantly higher. I mean, there's risk always, but it is undeniably higher. You can see the volume in the last 24 hours up to around 5 million, as well as the total supply and the max supply. Basically, if you don't know what this is, Akuma Inu is it's the bad dog. It's the bad dog of crypto. If you look at all the top coins, if you look at Shiba Inu, Floki, they're all pretty good dogs. They're good doggies. We need a bad dog. We need at least one bad dog in crypto. It's currently ranked 216, and it's the project I'm at this point in time the most excited about. I mean, there's projects come to me all the time and explain this is why we're good. This is why this. The first time I've ever started a YouTube channel, besides Dogecoin, specifically for a project, is this. So it's only ever happened twice. It has to mean something, right? As we take a look at this, so this is Wintermute. We make markets in digital assets, liquid and efficient. You can see, I love their branding. Their branding is just beautiful, but cumulative trading volume is now up almost to 600 billion. So it's massive. You really, if you don't know what Wintermute is, you have to look into it more, as we're now going to take a look at Dogecoin here, which Dogecoin is... I mean, just look at how beautiful this is. So we're now at a $57 billion market cap. $57 billion. What's crazy is the first video I ever made on Dogecoin had the same market cap as Akuma Inu does right now. That's wild. We were at under 500 million market cap on my first video. I think it was at 300 or 400 million at that time. That was in early 2021. Go back and watch that. That was a fun time. But you can see here, fully divested, 57 billion. So it's, I mean, obviously at that size, but 147.51 billion Doge. When we first started making it, it was also making videos about it. It was we get around a little over 5 billion a year that are brought into circulation. So it always is weird to me out to see that going up. But what's important is that percent of the total is going down every year because it stays constant, the amount. So therefore, it goes from 4% to 3% to 2% to 1%. And that's why Dogecoin, if you're holding it long term, it's almost impossible. I mean, it's possible to lose in the short term, but it's almost impossible to lose holding Dogecoin long term. Almost impossible. It would take some sort of extreme end of the market type of event for you to really lose big on Dogecoin long term. It's almost impossible. It's currently number 7, but I still stand by that fully and strongly. By the way, I doubled up my position when Dogecoin was at the bottom. I told it, I keep hitting these right. I have an IQ in the top 0.01% globally, which basically allows me to retain as much information as I can bring in. And so by doing that, I can look at all these projects and I can paint this 3D map. It's hard to explain, and I can see beyond just what typically is capable of being seen. And that takes a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. Having a high IQ only takes you so far. You still have to do the research and do the work, and you're capable at a certain, especially if your IQ is over 130, you can kind of start to get into that territory. But once you get over 140 and beyond that, then you start to get into the territory where you have like this weird vision of things, and it's really cool. But it only goes so far, and it has downsides too. There's plenty of downsides, and look, the biggest downside really is that sometimes, it can feel lonely at times, but also on top of that, if you ever talk about it, it sounds like you're being an a-hole. So I mean, that's another downside. I don't think I've ever mentioned it almost my entire life, but I am now because I mean, might as well, right? If you have something. If you have a talent or something that's unique, or maybe a little bit special, and we're not going to say too special because there's just still millions of people that are at that level. But I think maybe it's time. We should be open about stuff like that. And everyone has talents. Everyone has things that they're good at. And one of the things I'm really good at is crypto. That's what I love. That's what I know how to do, and that's what I'm always going to continue. I believe to be good at. Now take a look. Now this is the comparison I want to give you here. So this is Fartcoin. Now you can make farting sounds. You can do whatever you want. It's Fartcoin. But look at this. So Fartcoin went up to around 300 million, stayed there for a while, and then boom. And by a while I mean like less than a month, but still fell down some, down 200 million, and then boom. Look at this. Look at that Fartcoin blast off. Absolutely beautiful. And so you see Fartcoin at around 400 million is right there. And what do you notice? What's the similarity isn't a word, is it? But what's the similarities here between Fartcoin and Akuma Inu? Look at that. So if we look at the chart, you can see clearly the same type of patterns emerging. Now it doesn't mean it's going to do the same exact thing, of course, but I would be very surprised if we don't see Akuma Inu following at least a somewhat similar path. This maybe even with higher potential because this is on Solana. Base chain really is largely an untapped market in some ways. Now there's some coins that have done pretty well on it, but Solana largely tapped. Base chain is kind of the new thing, and you always want to get in on new chains. If you're investing in any coin that's on a new chain, the upside is going to be the highest. Now, base chain is already somewhat established. It's not like a nothing coin. So because of that, you're a little late. You're a little later than you should be, but not even close to too late. In fact, there's going to be people that are probably investing into some of these projects on base chain at 10x higher than where we are now. There's going to be people that are going to be happy to get a price 10 times higher than currently. That's what I believe will happen. And so as we're continuing to watch this, you can see. So that's. I'll zoom in a little bit in case it's hard to see, but you can see. So if we look at the point where it was at around 400 million, let me find it again. Right around there, you can see. So that's the 500 million line right there. So right around there, and now the biggest difference between those two charts is it did have a stall period, and we haven't really seen that yet for Akuma. Akuma has an interesting vaulting system where basically all of the biggest holders, for the most part, there are some exceptions, but all the biggest holders have vaulted tokens where they're not allowed to sell until certain circumstances are reached. And right now, it's actually no sales allowed, period, with the vaulted tokens until that mechanism is activated. And so that basically makes this chart different. It makes this chart capable of being safer. The reason I use the word capable, I have to be careful because it's still crypto, and you learn along the way that you have to be careful with your wording. You can't just say, "Oh, for sure it's going to happen," because no one knows 100%. But all you can do is look at signs like this and realize, wow, that has a really high probability to do what I want to do. That has a really high probability to go up a lot, and you start doing that enough, and you kind of get into this habit of it. Now, if we look here, Dogecoin price to $3 in 2025. Here's why it's very possible. Dogecoin right now sitting at a price of, it's getting close to, it's at around 40 cents, but it's getting close to 50 cents. If we see it passing the all-time high of 73 cents, is actually a little bit higher than that, but technically that's what CoinMarketCap puts as the all-time high on its slightly lagged behind margin. If we see it going to that point, that right there would mean it's at the very, very, very precipice of becoming one of the main cryptocurrencies used on Earth. For it to pass that level twice, it's already done it. It's already gotten up there once. For it to do it again, it will have staying power like nothing we've seen before. I don't think once we pass it again, we're ever going to get down to the below 10 cents territory ever again. Now we'll see ups and downs, obviously, but we're never going to get down. It's never going to be that big of a drop ever again. That's what I'm predicting for Dogecoin. And if we compare that to gold price, it just makes gold look boring. Look at that. So we're seeing some movement there on the gold price, but it's just every day. It's just okay between 2.6 and 2.64. It's 2,000. Okay, here's 2,600 for your gold there. I mean, it just how is that interesting? How's that fun? Where's the upside? How am I going to turn $1,000 into $1 million on gold? It's not going to happen. Even if you invested early, gold's never been that type of high potential. It just hasn't. As much as we would like it to be, we can't create nothing or something out of nothing. And so let's see what it posts from Elon Musk. Let's go ahead and just check it out. We'll look at this. We'll look at that. Elon Musk replied to Elon Musk. George Soros spent billions to create fake asylum seeker nightmare that is destroying America and Europe from his own website. Interesting. Elon Musk is based Elon lately. It's really fun to watch him. But you can see, so we'll go to my X account here. You can see there's the post I made about Jennifer Lopez, post I made about Nancy Pelosi. That's a funny one. How is that possible? How is that possible? But look at this. So don't show that. Oh yeah, they always try to note. They try to note me. It didn't get approved, fortunately, but yeah, they note me saying things like, "Oh, Matt Wallace promoted pump and dumps." It's not true. I mean, there's a reason why those notes don't get approved. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. They also will note me saying things like, they'll say, "Oh, this is clickbait," when it's a post I spent hours making. They're just after me. And notice, so the examples they give, and we can look at them. So there's one from Cyber News from some random far leftist who hates me and decided to make up a story. That's one of them. The other one they do is Zach XBT, who is also a hater. He's someone who's was trying to take me down at the time. That tweet I think is like years old as well, which is another interesting aspect. But so they link to years old articles and tweets where people make up the dumbest things. And meanwhile, when Hawk2 Girl actually does pull a rug and takes a bunch of money from fans and doesn't pay it back after a disastrous launch, she's totally fine. She rarely even gets noted. She did get a couple notes. I'll give them credit for that. But notice they only do it to people they don't like, pretty much, with a couple exceptions. And even like in any big creator, they'll try to note you. Now, again, that's just in drafts, so it hasn't been approved yet, and I don't think it will. It probably won't get approved because it's fake, and most noters understand that. They also try to note my other two posts about it, which I can go back and show those. So here's one from Akuma. Matt Wallace recognizes Akuma's potential. Feels good to be mentioned by the Doge father commander. Next at Elon Musk. That's a good question. Come on, Elon. Then I also posted under there that the Illuminati will hold her accountable. So yeah, I've done a few posts about it in the last 24 hours, having some fun with that. As we go back here, go ahead and pull this up. Let's see, what was I going to pull up? Here we go. Here is the Akuma Inu website. So you can see. So this is the branding behind it. It's the bad dog. It's the bad dog, which is a very interesting take, and it's unique in some ways. I don't know of any other bad dog in crypto. Like this is the dog that will take. This is the dog that will take all the money and fire away into the air. Look at that. It's really, it really is genius branding. And I appreciate that. There's the dog taking down FUD, putting the sword in the pile of gold. And they're only, by the way, they're only at around 6,000 followers on X right now. And so they're growing from a beginning stage in many ways, which is cool to see. And I think that's part of the reason why it still has that organic new coin appeal, even though it has already had a lot of investors coming in. And I think a lot more are coming as hopefully the Elon Musk X money integration will not just include Dogecoin and Bitcoin, but it'll also include cryptocurrency as a whole. We want to see a platform where base chain is being integrated, where every single small market cap coin has a chance to be integrated. It has to be inclusive, and it has to have a wide scale variety. That's the only way it will work long term, and it will have popularity and staying power. Now, of course, we'll still be happy if it's just Dogecoin and nothing else. That's still better. That's still great, right? That's still a positive thing. But I think it can be so much better than just that. And just having a payments platform alone, especially, and Elon needs to stick to his free speech ideals. That's absolutely crucial. He has to stick to them. He cannot go back, no matter how tempting it is to ban people he doesn't like. That has to change. He has to be on board. But I believe in Elon. I think he'll do the right thing in the end, as he has so many times in the past. And I'm very, very excited for the future when it comes to both crypto and that. I'm Matt Wallace, and I'll see you in the next video.